Test 1, 2, test. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get your attention, please? Ladies.
The following is an electronic test signal. It will last for approximately 20 seconds so that you will have ample time to adjust your home radio dial or reset your car radio push button to CHLO's new address. We'll be waiting for you at 1570 at the top end of the radio dial.
Hey, you're making us older than we are, Steve.
Yeah, all right. 45 years ago, but thank you, Charlie, because that was amazing. We just heard. Sorry. I don't want to use it. I'm going to use my speaker's voice. And no, thanks to Charlie for that, because that was really amazing. 45 years ago last night, CHLO went from 680 to 1570. And this all started kind of as an idea from Don Cousins years ago that we needed to have a reunion of CHLO radio and all these amazing individuals that passed through the radio station over the years. And I started this Facebook group, and the Facebook group expanded into tonight. And I just want to thank a whole bunch of individuals who made this all kind of come together very spontaneity like tonight. Like Charlie Rittenberg, who just showed up out of Toronto. Warren Allen, who left the cruise ship to come back to St. Thomas. Bob Hammersley, Bob Williams, who's been a great friend of mine over the years, and a whole bunch of other people that just showed up here tonight. And
Warren Beck.
Well, Warren Beck, yeah, you were on Facebook. Somebody wanted to know who's Warren Beck. So Warren Beck is here tonight. We're going to give everybody a chance to say a few words, but you know, I grew up at St. Thomas, 644-1212, 1570. You know, you wanted to make that call in to win a ticket to something. I never ever did, but some of you did. And it was the Voice of St. Thomas. It went on the air on May the 14th, 1948. Major Jack Peterson, a Second World War veteran, started the radio station, passed through a few individuals, to the Moore family, to John L. Moore, and we're so happy that 3 of John L. Moore's daughters are here tonight, and they play such an important. You know, the Moore family was so important in the history of the radio station, and again went through an evolution of a whole bunch of things. We lost it, unfortunately, as when it became CFHK? CFHK.
Not this time, sir.
Yeah, as the Hawk. The transition, though, taking place, and that's what we're celebrating tonight, the 45th anniversary of the transition on February the 13th, Friday the 13th back then, Friday the 13th today of 1970, when the radio station went from 680 to 1570. I gotta tell you, I still like 680 today. You can get it in St. Thomas. I start to listen to it because if I'm driving to Toronto, it helps me make a decision before I get to Woodstock. I'm taking 403 or 401 to go into Toronto tonight. So 680 is still playing an important part in my own life. I did this. I have no connection to the radio station. I'm just interested in local history. There's a great display of stuff on the walls. There's a great photo album that's running above the bar right now that I want to thank Stephen Frankham and the Elgin County Archives for pulling that together tonight as well. Yes. And what I'm hoping is that some of you, it's kind of like an open mic night. Come on up and make some comment. And I'm going to start with the Moore family, because I think it's really important that we hear from the Moores, who were so influential in this radio station over the years. And I just want to say thanks to everybody coming out.
Steve,
You're welcome, brother.
I'm listening.
I would like everyone to raise their glass cheers to CHLO.
Okay, well here, wait a minute, let's do that. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, charge your glasses. Charge your glasses to CHLO. Okay, so who's gonna say a few words on?
We can. Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah. Here, we got the mic for you too.
Oh my.
And if you stand over here,
Is she loud too?
if you sort of stand over here, then it won't interfere.
Okay, no,
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Carol Coombs Moore, was Moore. This is my sister Sheila Jaworski Moore, and Lisa Moore Quai, should I say. And on behalf of the John L. Moore family, we are pleased to be invited here tonight. It was such a part of our growing up, and I also need to extend greetings from our older two brothers, Stephen and Andy, who also worked in radio, and Bob a lot too. Anyways, just want to thank you, Steve Peters and Bob, for all your hard work, and I guess Don too. And I'm not sure what else I'd like to say, but I do remember Ted Rogers sitting in our living room negotiating this change from 680 to 1570. I think these girls are a little bit younger and they probably don't remember because they thought he was Mr. Rogers from TV. So again, thank you. Yes. So thank you again for having us here tonight. Okay.
Good, thanks. Mr. Rittenberg to say a few words because he's got all the recordings that he's got. How did you find all this old neat stuff, including this neat transition from 680 to 1570 that took place 45 years ago tonight?
Well, one of the gentlemen that gave me a lot of this stuff is right here in the audience, Wayne Mounier, which we remember as Bobby Steele. Give a big hand. Anyways, a long time ago, an old other radio buddy of mine, Grant Allen, that used to work at CKSL, and I think I don't know if he worked at CHLO or not, but he was at CKSL, right? He looked up Wayne, and we asked him if he had any archives left, and he did. And he's given us some wonderful stuff. I've got some of his shows from 1968. Let's get out of the line of fire here. There we go, that'll sound better. And so I got him from Wayne, along with the fact that I've also worked with J. Robert Wood, who was the program director of CHLO from, I guess, 1966 to 68. And he's the guy that basically coined the giant in the big country, if you remember that. And that's when it really picked up, because he was coming out of CKY Winnipeg, which is a pretty high energy radio station, and did quite well with that, and then was recognized by Chum, and was taking control of Chum until about 1984, and made that a successful radio station in Toronto. So J. Robert Wood, another big hand in the archive for CHLO, along with a guy named Tom Connard, who was an American air check aficionado in Chicago, or Wildwood, Wisconsin, I think actually is where it really was. He had air checks of everything, and he just happened to have an amazing board air check of CHLO from 1971, which we can play later on if people are interested in hearing that. And then just people I know. I mean, there's people that basically record at CHLO, and I've got a wide group of people that I deal with in the industry. I work with the Chum Archives in Toronto right now, and it's been quite a ride for me because I've loved CHLO. I grew up in London. That was my holy grail radio station, you know, along with CKLW. I'm sure people remember that. The Big 8 and Chum. And then there's CJBK, CKSL up the dial a few years later. But CHLO is where it all started in this neighborhood here. And they were one of the best for a little 1,000-watt station. I mean, it really kicked ass. It went places. You could get it in the States. You could get it everywhere. 1570, on the other hand, was, well, it had its good and bad points. I mean, it had 10 times the power. It had more towers, and it really did have a strong signal right here in St. Thomas. But it really didn't do too well against the swinging 68 signal. But it was heard in places like New Zealand. And I heard it myself in Calgary, Alberta. I've got a tape of that somewhere where I actually recorded CHLO in Calgary in 1971. And I think this hour's most requested song was Take Me Home Country Roads, if you remember that. And that was outside of Calgary I picked it up. And I was just like, wow, because it did have a good nighttime signal when you went in the right direction. So CHLO already, you know, had its fame with 1570 in that regard.